Welcome to another Pinche podcast.
With another Pinche podcast right here, and I got a guest, Mr. Caveman. Finally got me a videographer because you know what? It's been hard to get anybody that does mainly video. But welcome.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man. Glad to be here.
So can you give us a little introduction?
Yeah. My name's Jayo. I'm with Integrity Car Club, but I also do ManCave TV, which is mostly on YouTube,
Mm,
and I'm on Instagram as well, just kind of following the Lowrider community.
nice. So the YouTube channel, you're now if you don't know, I think I could sit there. Well, I don't know about now because there's a lot of people coming up in the YouTube world, but um, you've been pretty much the one that's going with the same amount of like content, and our numbers are pretty much similar. I think you've been doing it. You've had your channel longer, and you're out there down in SoCal, so you've been putting in that work with the videos, man, and it's always good.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I remember we met at Aztec Image.
The first time we actually really met and got to chop it up for a minute, yeah, that was Aztec Image. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've been following you and checking your work out for a long time. I'm a fan of your work, so.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, like, that's the thing. The one thing I've been trying to get, as many content creators on to talk, basically talk shop. And for you, when you do the videos and everything and you're out there doing video, what is one of the main things? What is your main goal? Like for the day? Is it like, what do you have a prep or idea of what you want to catch, or you just kind of freestyling every time?
So honestly, for me, I'm just freestyling.
Mhm.
I don't even now I'm starting to wear the hat of photographer or videographer
Mm.
more, but I didn't even realize that I was part of that group. I was just kind of freestyling. It
Yeah.
started recording me and my friends, and then it kind of started recording everybody. And so I would say I'm definitely the least professional and the least skilled out of all of us. Like, some of you guys do such amazing work, and I'm just out there on auto. I'm on
Yeah.
auto, aim and shoot, and that's it.
But I think that the effort's there. I mean, I think everybody thinks everybody has to be like professional. And if you told me, like, for me, some people think they name off like certain camera, settings and everything, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I've only dialed in. I know what works, and then I just move from here to there just to make the adjustments. That's really how I do things. I figured out what I like and how my pictures look, and I know my settings, and then I know how to dial it in if I have to make adjustments for lighting or something like that. Video, a whole different thing. I shoot most video in auto.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just I think it's all also on how much technique, and we walk around and everything like that, and it's a lot.
Yeah, I've actually kind of kicked back on a lot of the filming lately, just
Uh-huh.
because I found myself like showing up to a show, setting up, me and my club set up our little canopies and ice chests and everything, and then I grab my camera and I'm gone, and I don't
Yeah.
even see my club till the end of the day again. And it's cool because I'm seeing everybody else and chopping
Yeah.
it up with everybody else. But I say, you know what? I got to start kind of breaking it up, where sometimes I don't even bring the camera. I just come and hang out and enjoy our community. So for that reason, I haven't been out as much, but I'm still going to be out there.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know. That's my big debate. People ask me if I'm gonna ever, build a lowrider or anything like that. I says, well, if I do that, then I'm probably not gonna be doing very much
Right,
content.
right, right. And that's how it goes, man. You got to pick your battles, right? And doing
Yeah,
everything, even though it's kind of like work, but it's something that we enjoy. So when it starts, at least for me, I enjoy filming the cars and editing
yeah,
the footage. But when it starts to feel like work, that's when I kind of got to kick back just a little bit and remember, wait, this is supposed to be my therapy
Yeah.
or, my enjoyment. So when it's feeling like work, kind of kick it for a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, I mean, there's the hustle and stuff, but yeah, I get a kick out of it. And sometimes people are like, "Did you have fun?" I said, "Man, I was out there working in the heat." Like, I don't know if I had fun, but I think
Right.
sometimes I don't realize I am having fun. You know what I mean? Like, I don't realize that I actually enjoy it that much that I'm out there just running around, and I like go through 100-degree days and everything else, and long drives and flights and everything. So when I don't realize that I'm having fun until later. I look back at it.
Yeah, and you're everywhere, bro. Talk about somebody who stays on the move, man. You stay on the move.
I'm trying. I'm trying. So um with you being in SoCal, there's like lowrider events and possible content like every day. How do you pick your next move when you decide you want to get some content?
That's a good question. For the most part, just how I'm feeling for the day, because I may go to something smaller that's local
Mhm.
instead of the bigger show that's further away, or a lot of the time kind of see what my club is doing. And there's been days where my whole club is going to one thing and I say, you know what, how about me and one of you guys roll with me to this other event so we could show love everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of just pick, based on how I'm feeling for the day. Obviously, the people who like super support me and shit, and when they invite me to something, I gotta be there, because I gotta return the love. But that's the only time I feel an obligation. If it's somebody who I hang out with or somebody who shows me mad love, then I do feel obligated to go show them the same love.
Yeah. The sometimes I know we put the models out there in the thumbnail for our video clips.
Hmm.
Um have you paid attention to any of that nonsense and the headaches about the modeling thing at the car shows lately?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not paying it much attention, but yeah, I've heard the little background noise that's going on because of it. And to each their own. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Um, and I may be biased, right? Because I'm
Yeah.
a guy. I like to see nice cars. I like to see nice women. I like to see nice stuff, right? So for me, I'm gonna be honest. Like I feel like it's kind of part of what we do.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, before I had ever like been out to lowrider shows, just through seeing them on the streets and then grabbing the magazines, you got the girls in the magazines. Would the magazines have sold the way they sold without a beautiful woman on the cover? I don't know. Maybe,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe almost as much, but I know that helped.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but I'm also the father of a daughter,
Yeah.
who's my best friend, and she kind of grew up in the scene, right?
Mhm.
So I definitely understand when people say maybe they're uncomfortable with their kids seeing that.
Mhm.
But then I had to realize, like, wait a minute, I live here in SoCal. Like you said, I take my kids to the beach.
Yeah.
It's nothing
Yeah.
different than walking the beach.
Exactly.
Or, you even the boardwalk. You go to the boardwalk at Venice, there's ladies there in very small bikinis and stuff. So yeah, it's hard. It's a hard one. I don't have a solid one way or the other, but I would not try to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe
Yeah.
decide some shows are going to be, or put it on the flyer, this is all ages, right, or whatever, however you want to do it. But I don't think we should completely get rid of having models at car shows.
No, exactly. I mean, I think really what it comes down to is the behaviors and so on and such, but it still comes down to the audience and the way people see it. It's everybody's opinion.
Yep.
The guys are gonna love it. They're gonna soak it up, but what it comes down to is who gets offended. Like, and then now we're bringing all this stuff into culture that's not politically correct, which is low riding, right? We're anti-politically correct. And so, but you know what? Honestly, I'm gonna leave it at this though. But most of that shit has a political reason, and it's drama with competition, and that's the only reason why that whole thing was been brought up.
Now, as a content creator, I know that some of my best low riding footage, I'm talking about the craziest hops or cars just sparking up and down the street going crazy. Some of those videos don't have a ton of views, but the super show video that has a couple of chicks on the thumbnail, million views, multi-million or hundreds of thousands at least. So, I mean, as a content creator, I definitely seize the moment when I can, right? I know that that's what's going to get people to watch. And that's obviously the goal. I think to anybody putting anything on the internet, you want people to watch it or look at it.
Yeah, you figure out what works. You try a couple different things, and then all of a sudden you realize, oh wow, I put one of the models is in the thumbnail, and I got like a ridiculous amount of views and stuff. And then you're like, well, from now on, that's the secret sauce right there, right?
Right. Yeah.
And they don't. And then for us, of course, it's at the end of the day, we're filtering it out, or we're just letting it run, and you got to kind of balance it out between how much of what. And it is true. Any thumbnail I put a model on gets way more views than just the cars.
Yep.
But those are the outside. I think it's a good balance though. But there's always the one people that on there. I mean, I think I blocked a couple people from my YouTube because they kept going, "Oh, do more model stuff, and I'm like, "Come on, dude, slow down."
Right. Because there's channels for that, and I try to. Yeah. If you see my videos, if it's a 10-minute video, there's not 60 seconds of the models. It may be 30 seconds throughout the whole video, just little clips here and there as I encountered them throughout the day as I was walking the show or walking the function or whatever. But yeah, if that's all you're here for, there's plenty of other channels for that, right?
Absolutely. So how did you get started with all this with your ManCave TV?
Man, so I was just kind of like filming for me and really my own personal memories and stuff. So this is a trip actually. I would go out and film Saturday, Sunday, whatever. The next week, Friday or Saturday night, I would be on the couch erasing footage from my memory card so I could go record more. Because at this time, I was fresh home from an extended vacation. Money was like super tight. Those memory cards were $80.
Yep.
And I couldn't just go buy a memory card whenever. So I would erase footage so I could record more. My son, he was probably 8 or 9 at the time. And he told me, he said, "Dad, before you erase it, upload it to YouTube and then erase it. That way you could always go back and watch it there." So initially I started with YouTube, like the cloud before the cloud existed. I was just using it for backup memory. Raw clips, no titles. Like it would say clip 106, like with numbers, like no title, just upload it. Then I could
the camera.
Exactly. Yeah. It'd be the file tag or whatever. And then I could share it with my friends. I could text them the link. And one day I went to watch a video or show somebody a video, and bro, the video had 1,000 views. And I was like, what? It tripped me out. I'm like, 1,000 people have seen this. And then one of the comments, somebody was like, "Man, this would be dope if you threw some music on it." So I said, "Okay, you're right." Fucking, I threw some, excuse my language. Should I try not to cuss on there?
You can cuss whatever. Yeah. It's
okay.
Speeches, Lowriders, bro.
All right. I'm going to do my best still.
All right. But, no worries.
But yeah, so I'm like, all right, I threw some music, start throwing music on the videos. And then I had showed, like you said, I showed one model. I think the first model I ever showed in one of my videos was at Oldie's car club function from the San Fernando Valley. And there was a pretty famous model at the time. I can't think of her name right now. She's in that video though. But I showed just a little quick clip of her, and then all the comments, oh, show more girls, right?
Yeah.
But so, now I'm listening. I'm like, okay. So I started to, if there was models at a show, I would make sure I got at least a couple clips of them to sprinkle in the video.
Yep.
And then it just kind of, that's how it took off. But so I was using it as backup. Somebody must have found one of the videos, or one of the videos kind of took off a little bit. And I just started listening to the comments. And then I made a name and and at first it wasn't just Lowriders. I was doing Lowriders. Me and my kids ride dirt bikes. I build RC cars. So that's where the ManCave came from, because all my toys are in the ManCave, right?
Yeah.
So, but nobody wanted to watch anything that has to do with dirt bikes or remote control cars. Nobody cared about that. So I stopped putting that footage up, and I'll just start putting up the Lowrider videos.
Yeah, nice. And then here we are now. And then what do you? Yeah. And then, so you have what? 133,000?
I think 132 and change. We should probably be approaching 133 now.
Okay.
I hope.
I think it's going back and forth. You'll surpass me, and then I surpass it. Just everything changes, and we kind of have, I don't know if it's a friendly rivalry, but I'm honestly, like, we're the ones that putting out a lot of the lowrider content more so, because some channels are really bigger, but they're not 100% lowriding.
Right. Or for, like, I kind of feel like, even if, and nothing against anybody, I don't, it's all love to everybody. But, we have some people who you could tell, like, maybe this ain't what you really like, or like your backyard, but probably just like me, you probably posted all this different stuff, and Lowriders fucking took off.
Yeah.
So you keep doing, supply and demand. I just, for me, and I feel like for you as well, because we've chopped it up, like, this is also like our community as well. Like, we're a part of these communities, and nothing. Hey, there's a lot of guys who are not, but their level of skills with those cameras and editing is so far beyond mine. I still enjoy their footage.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's the perfectionists.
Yeah.
I know a couple guys, and they'll put out maybe a 5-minute video, but it's like TV show grade footage. Like,
right.
and
yeah,
that's
I would. You do amazing work yourself, bro. I tell all my friends, my family, they know. I always say, like, I am the least skilled of the bigger lowrider fucking media outlets. Like, I'm the lowest tech, but it's all right. It's all right. People still fuck with me and give me love, and I think that's what it's about.
Yeah, I think that it's honestly, the biggest advice I give anybody is effort. Put in effort.
Consistency.
Consistency and effort, especially YouTubers. So what it comes down to is it's consistency over everything. It's YouTube, it's consistency. And then how do you get there? Well, you have to make the effort. So at least as long as you're doing, you'll evolve as you go, and you'll realize what you want to do better and everything else like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Or you stick with it, and if it's working, then don't change anything,
Now, since we're talking YouTube, did you see? Well, let me first say, I've seen personally over the last few years, YouTube's tightened up so much that the videos I used to put up, and I wouldn't know while I was driving to the show, I'd tell my brother or whoever's with me, this is going to do 1 million views, guaranteed. And I would be right. But now, soon as I upload some of this footage, right away, it's demonetized, it's age restricted. I mean, I can't put chicks on the thumbnails how I used to.
Mm.
And even once I toned that down a little bit, because a woman can still be attractive fully dressed. So we find the models when they're not, when they're wearing more, right?
Yeah.
And do more like face pictures and stuff. But then even the hashtags, like if I hashtag, you know, booty or like I used to be able to hashtag booty, right?
Yeah.
And freaking, videos going crazy. Put hashtag booty on one of your videos right now. It'll
Oh,
never go like freaking public, not like
yeah, it won't go
monetized
past
or
a certain
anything.
part. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I mean, it just at the end of the day, of course, censorship and everything else, but and it's not, and most of the stuff's not really that bad. I think there's been a couple videos where they told me it's limited, and then I'm like, I'm gonna have it reviewed, and then
Hmm.
it comes back and it goes, okay, it's okay. But I think I've had thumbnails where they've taken down the thumbnails.
Yeah.
When it's like have Saint T or something like that on the thumbnail, and and then it's like, nope, not inappropriate, we took it down. So then I have to change the thumbnail. And so yeah, you have to be careful with it. I mean, for me nowadays, it's like if there's um if there's something going on with a model and I'm able to get the screenshot of it for the video, I put the logo so it like kind of covers, so like it's
Yep.
you kind of understand what's behind it. And that I haven't had an issue with. Mainly the obviously the music. Still to this day, a lot of people don't understand the concept of you can't always have music because of the copyrights. And then sometimes I'm like, you know what, I really don't mind. Maybe I'm not really like, I like the video so much, I don't want to mess with it. I like the flow, and I'm not going to change all the music. But then it could be one song, and it says your video won't be viewed at all. Like it blocks
Yep.
the video, so you
Yep.
have to mute it. You have to, or else no one's even going to see the video.
Yep.
And I think the biggest complaint, like, what happened to the sound? It's like I had to mute it, had to mute it, had to mute it.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
I've dealt with a lot of that too.
mm,
And more so over the recent years. Yeah. I want to say over 5 years ago, it was, I mean, almost the Wild West, right? Like just put
Yep.
that footage up there. It's going to go crazy. They really started tightening down on stuff, but it is what it is. Conform or move on, right?
Yeah, and I've even gotten, like, you get that no copyright, music off those the sites that people make that, those beats or whatever for.
Mhm.
And then people talk shit too. What, that's a lame ass music, blah blah blah. It's like, dude, I'm putting something up. Good lord. And
I know, and you're doing all this and basically for free, right?
yeah.
You're giving this footage to the people for free,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
One thing I will say, man, it was Cali Boy. You know who Cali Boy
Yeah,
is?
absolutely,
It was
dude.
Cali Boy. Somebody like commented some weird shit on my video, and fucking Cali Boy came on the comment, was like, it is strange how people can complain about somebody spending like days to create content and put it out there for free. Like, if you don't like it, don't watch it. I'm like, dog, right on, Cali Boy. So shout out to Cali Boy. And it right, like we're not charging you. Yeah.
I've had people say, talk whatever talk they talk on the comments, and usually I'm just like, you know what, check this out, get a camera, go do it yourself. Then if it's so, if you can do so much better and easier. Oh, you're not taking long enough on the cars, we can't see the details. I'm sorry, I don't shoot documentary style.
Right.
I'm run and gun. Like,
Yep.
I understand what they're saying, and they want to see details, but go to the car show if you want to see the details. That's my goal.
Yep.
That's my goal. I want you to see this video across the board, regardless of whether I'm sponsored by promoters or anything else like that. From the get-go, around the time I really started doing any kind of video in general, it was to show people that low riding is not dead. And and I tell people to this day is, if you see something and you think you wanted to spend more time watching it, first of all, pause is a thing. Second,
Mhm.
another thing is go to the show. And that's the
Yep.
concept. It's like, I missed out, I should have went, I'm going next year.
Mhm.
That's And that's actually the biggest feedback I get from most people that watch my videos is, you know what, I saw your video on this show in Arizona, I'm gonna go next year. You
That's
know,
dope.
I seen this video in King of the Streets in San Francisco, I'm gonna go next year, or I'm gonna go this year. I mean, that's really right now too. The King of the Streets has been the biggest talk of the town. It just, but because it's a low riding event and it's like all day thing and all night. But in general, we have to show people these things. We have to talk about these things, and that's how you generate these out of town people, and you generate people deciding. Like Arizona, for a good example, Arizona is a destination show.
Hmm.
It is already a staple car show in the lowrider game, regardless of who's part of the promotions of it.
Hmm.
That show is a solid show, and people come from all different states to go to it.
Hmm. Out of the country sometimes.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
And that's the one thing, and it's like meeting people that are coming from other countries, and they're like, I watch your videos. And I think you'll probably get that more than me, because you're all the main clubs are out there. I've met every time I'm down south, I run into somebody that comes from out of like Germany or something like that.
Yeah. I've had people from different comment and also at some of the super shows walk up. What's crazy, multiple shows, different people from Australia. I've ran into
Mhm.
multiple people from Australia that have come out here. But yeah, I get comments from people saying like, "Oh, watching you in Germany, watching you in Brazil or whatever," and that's crazy. Because like I said, dog, I was just using YouTube like storage.
Yeah. What about before Ukraine, I was getting a lot of people chiming in from Russia.
Yeah, well, yeah. So I would too. There's actually there's a Russian website, and it's just like a homepage with a bunch of
Hmm.
thumbnails of lowrider videos.
Really?
At least half of them were mine when I saw this. Somebody had sent it to me, and it was a Russian page, and it's just them grabbing
Yeah.
videos from people and putting it up on that page. I thought that was dope. Like some people would be all butthurt, like, oh, they're using my footage. But once you put it on the internet, it's free game, dude.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But it also drives people back, and once again, there goes your audience from different countries and stuff.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think I've chopped it up with a few people. I remember in even some of the lives, people would chime in, and of course, they're trying to what's the translate and stuff like that. But man, they're like pretty like they love seeing it.
Hmm.
And that's the whole thing. I think like with YouTube, you have a different set of followers than all the other social media.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like Instagram is definitely more local. Like
Mm.
I feel like most of the people I know or have met type shit for the most part. But yeah, YouTube is just so random.
Yeah. I think, well, that's the one thing too. That's one of the reasons why I did my website, because a lot of guys were on there and they were like, well, I don't have social media. I just have YouTube. That's it. So they only see the content you put on YouTube. So they don't see the photos. They don't see, the flyers or anything like that. And they're like, well, and one of the big questions, how do you know when these events are? You ever get that one?
A lot, or people asking me to post flyers and stuff. So I was, excuse me, I was kind of, I don't know, it's weird. I was kind of mixed about posting all the flyers just because, everybody got a pass, right? I got a background, just like
Yeah.
most of us out there. So I'm old school. I come from like, I ain't going to tell you where I'm going to be at,
Yeah.
right? But now I'm old, dog. I'm an old man now, bro. I'm going to start posting more flyers and stuff. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And something else I would like to touch on is like one of the things I like to show in my video, like me, I'll never show no drama
No, me
because
neither.
I am a lowrider. I'm part of this community, and even for yourself, even if you don't got a car, right? If you're part of this community, you'll understand what I'm saying. Like I'm not gonna post pictures of my house when my house is dirty because I take pride in my house. So I'm not gonna put negative videos from our community because every community has a little bullshit every once in a while.
Yep.
But some of these dudes out here just like waiting for some drama so they can like and that lets me know like you're not part of this community. You are really just a media outlet, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay too, but I'm not going to show you the love like you're part of the community when you know what I mean? When you're quick to just, as soon as something goes bad in the scene, just make a spectacle of it. I won't post that type of stuff.
So there was a hop. I'm not going to even mention the hop or it was 2 years ago. Yeah, it was not this year, but last year. And something kind of kicked off, and there was a, like, everybody talks smack at the hops, but then it kind of got like serious. And one of the first things I started yelling, I said, put the cameras down. Put the cameras down. Stop recording. And then a couple other people like, put your phones down.
Mm-hmm.
And then, they were trying to squash the issue and calm people down and everything like that. But my first instinct is to start telling people, stop fucking recording.
Right.
Because number one, yes, we know that things happen at our shows or events and everything like that. And we all know that anything can happen at anything, at any type of event. You can walk in the mall and shit kicks off.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that there's a lot of people that are gunning for Lowrider community because they don't believe that we're not about all the gang life and all the drama and shit like that anymore. People have disagreements. People have issues. There's going to be a couple little youngsters set tripping or something like that. That's just normal. And you go any kind of environment, that's going to be there. People drinking, just in general. Football games. Look at all the football game footage from all the fights.
You said it. Sporting events. There's more bullshit at sporting events than car shows.
That's right, because there's a mutual respect, right?
And that's why I dislike that so much, is because if I invite people from outside of the community and I say, hey man, come out to this picnic, bring the wife and kids, they're like, bring the wife and I'm like, no, it's not like that. I said, look, and I tell them quick, I'm like, look, it's the same dudes from the 90s.
Yeah.
Who why you wouldn't want to go out there then? Same guys. Just they got mortgages, businesses, careers, and families now. So we don't want no bullshit around us.
Yeah.
And so that's why I would never show no bullshit, because I would say as a community, we've come so far, bro. I have no problem taking my kids with me to any function for the most part. Yeah. And then of course you feel it in the air. If shit's getting a little funky, get your kids out of there.
Yep.
But you don't really have to, like, it's so few and far in between.
Exactly.
But you go on YouTube and it looks like we're out there tearing shit up and fighting every weekend. That's not the case.
Yeah, I'm not like into like, even sometimes when like a car like has a catastrophic failure when it's hopping.
Mm-hmm.
And like, of course, you can't stop recording. Like if the car's in the air, comes down, ball joint breaks, wheel, spring flies out, you catch that. But I always trip out on the guys that go zooming in and look, showing all the, the
like
damage.
Almost like you clowning the car, right?
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm not really into the. I'm more or less like, yes, we know that happens, but it's like if you get knocked the fuck out. So you want to wake up and get footage of someone zooming in your face?
You got the camera all in my face and shit. That's some bullshit. Yeah.
There's a different type of respect when it comes down to the people that some of us that have been in this lifestyle have been through. The days when you had to watch what you said, what you did, how you looked at people. You had to watch what neighborhood you were in, what color you were wearing. But you grow into this lowrider and you realize this is a big community and it's more welcoming than anybody can realize, and even from being from San Jose, people are like, well, you go to LA. I go there all the time. Why? Mm-hmm. Because I'm a photographer, I'm a videographer. I'm not out there gangbanging or anything like that. I don't even do that shit. like no more and everything else. Like I have respect for people, and I stay in my lane though.
Mhm.
I don't just decide I'm gonna go into some random neighborhood because I want to go hang out. No, I'm there for the
Right,
lowrider,
right,
and I
right.
respect everybody that's there, and they respect me, and no one sweats it like that. I've been to events where there's all kinds of people from Sacramento, San Jose, and stuff like that, and they're in line and sleeping overnight to get into a New Year's event, Majestics or something. You know, people come out from all over the place, and it's all love. It's a lot bigger than what people expect.
Yep, yep. And
And
and and that's one of the things I appreciate about our community too, is because exactly what you like. Man, I grew up in a very mixed area. I'm mixed, and I
mm,
grew up around everybody. Like we were all right there together, and we were cool with each other.
yeah,
So to be able to be like that back again as adults and shit, you know, at the car shows, like I really appreciate that part of it, and all this stuff we do, bro. Like I gotta say it. I'm not gonna not say it. Like, man, look how many backpacks and bicycles and how many food drives and stuff the lowrider community gives back as much, if not more,
mhm,
than I think any other culture that I see. Like we're constantly out there.
yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, come wintertime, it's nothing but toy drives and backpack drives, canned food drives, and stuff like that. You know, come springtime, same thing, backpack drives, school supplies, everything else. You know, and right now, um, the like right now, everybody's trying to get cruising. You know, the bans lifted or the cities to cooperate. You know, all that stuff. When you're out there, when you hit the cruises, what's your biggest pet peeve when you're out there trying to get footage out of cruise?
Okay, so my thing is, and this is out of anybody's control, but I feel like it happens so much where I'm right there with the camera, I'm filming the car, they pass me and they get down a little bit, and then they start hitting the switch, right? And I'm like, fuck, hit the switch. I'm I'm not with a phone most of the time. I got a fucking camera with hit that shit in front of the camera, dog. Like
Yeah,
when I'm in my car, I'm looking for when I see the homies with the cameras, dog. I'm pulling right up. Well, I pull up in front of you, play
yep,
with
yep.
it a little bit, and you know, fucking. So that's that's my thing. Like fucking hit the switch when you pass by the camera, not after.
Yeah,
But
sometimes I'll see something that like maybe if a car does that to me more than once, because of obviously they're coming back and around and stuff, and I'll see them coming, and I stand and I point to the camera like I'm like this, and sometimes you'll be like, oh, okay, you're right there, hit the switch. But yeah, that one's the one because like you could be ready and there could be a couple cars, both of them work and they just drive by you and you're like, okay. And then all of a sudden you hear in the background, you hear them
right,
and they're going at
yeah,
it, and you're like,
yeah,
I'm sorry, but I ain't running over there.
right, right, yeah. Not anymore. I used to. Too old for that shit now.
I'm not
Yeah,
running.
but then, man, since you mentioned the ban being lifted or whatever, bro, I've been in this car 10 years on hydraulics this
Mhm.
year. This car 10 years on hydraulics. I put 40,000 miles on this car on hydraulics in 10 years.
Wow.
I I I drive the car.
Yeah.
I've never had a ticket or never been pulled over in the car. Nothing. That first cruise we did after they removed the no cruising signs, bro, I was there 10 minutes. 10 minutes and got a ticket. And it's my fault because I did a fucking U-turn
Mm,
where I shouldn't have. And I'm a big boy and I know that just because I've done it 1,000 times in the
yeah.
same spot didn't make it legal then.
Yeah.
But that I saw so many people get pulled over that night. It was clear and they were out in full force. And the cop who talked to me told me, he said, just because you guys made cruising legal, none of the other shit is legal.
That's
We're not giving any passes anymore. And I'm like, fuck, dog, we should have just left it how it was. I didn't, you know what I mean? At least that's how I'm feeling right now. Still fucking dealing with the ticket, but I don't know if that was a good thing or not, man.
So this is how I see it. All right, this is how I see it. We all know they don't really like dealing with lowriders, depending on where you're at. And San Jose, they're all for it right now. Sacramento's all for it right now. But we know that down south, they're not giving you guys that love. And but the thing is that's exactly what I said when they started pushing this issue. The reason why cruising got big again, obviously, was because of COVID. I mean, drive-by birthday parties and everything else, right? You
Yep.
can't be out in public, but you could sit in your car. So cruising just became a damn thing all over again, right? And then everybody wanted to start pushing the issue about it's not a crime. Now, here's the thing. You just reminded all those council members, all those city officials, all the police and everything else that, oh, we can get revenue by giving these people tickets. Now, you can push the issue and bring it to light and make it, about everything else of what okay, the ban was based off of racism and so on and so forth. Yes, we understand that. But here's the thing. We still do a non-conformative lifestyle. Our cars are not stock. Our cars are modified. You're bringing attention to yourself. And you're right. Some people, I've heard comments where people I like cruising before when it was illegal.
Mm-hmm.
So basically it was like, you can't one up some government and police and law officials don't like to be one up.
Of course.
So you can beat them by banning it, taking down the ban in California and changing the law saying cruising is not a crime. But they're like, whoa, well, like you said, well, we could find a way around that. We can't give you a ticket for cruising. We could give you a ticket for whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, they're just trying to discourage the gathering and stuff that we do.
Yep.
So yeah,
Yep.
it's a double-edged sword. And I think that's a big deal. And I think it's something that honestly it's kind of like what the next podcast I want to touch base on, or I want to talk to the advocates and stuff like that. And so I'm starting to reach out to people right now so I could set that up. But yeah, I love cruising. I love cruising more than the car shows. I grew up here, like anything else. That was the thing to do back in the day before everybody had cell phones and stuff like that. But I see the if the city doesn't want to work with the lowrider community, they're going to go after the lowrider community.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because it's by area. Because some cities are still welcoming us here. Like on Cinco de Mayo, the whole community got bounced around a couple times, got ran out of a few places. I'm sure you've seen they put up temporary no parking in the park Friday to Monday. It's a park, dog. Yeah, at Elysian Park. At Elysian Park, no parking Friday to Monday.
Do you think the Dodger Stadium's gonna not put a game on Cinco de Mayo next year?
No, I think because they were catered to.
Yeah,
they had no issue.
Cultural event themselves. They do that for themselves, but the thing is that it's gonna the problem with everybody being at the park because that's the way to get into the stadium, right?
Yeah. So So I feel like they had it. Not saying like they had anything to do with it, but it worked in their benefit. There was no traffic that day.
Yeah.
Cops were at Elysian Park early in the morning as cars were showing up saying, "Get out of here." And then they went to another park and got ran out of there too. Thank goodness for Pasadena. Everybody ended up in Pasadena at Brookside Park, I believe, for Boulevard Riders.
Mm-hmm.
And they had an amazing function all day long. No issues. Cops giving thumbs up and stuff. So I guess it's, by city. But Van Nuys, they're not having it right now. And for me, that's been one of my favorite, if not my favorite, my second favorite spot to cruise over the last few years. Van Nuys has been an amazing cruising spot. So
that's a big street. So you have I mean, that's what is it, like 2 lanes, and then you have that giant center
I
divide
feel like
lane?
in some places it's 3 lanes with the center
Right.
divide. So like,
Yeah.
yeah, 7 lanes across, and then good lighting and centrally located. Like everybody can make it to Van Nuys in 30 minutes, just about. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, it's you think that some of those car dealerships out there would be like, "Yeah, let's sponsor you guys. Come look at
you
new cars."
you would think, right? You would
Mm.
think.
But where's yeah, because you know what? Honestly, this is what I noticed this year. I haven't seen very many cruises out, like flyers or events, even up here.
Really?
No, yeah, I haven't seen anybody really talking about the cruises. I think, I'm not too like usually right about now would have been what the Van Nuys cruise, right?
Oh yeah, no, by this time last year we had 10 Van Nuys cruises. You know, any local club want to throw a
Yeah.
cruise right there, and then the normal people who do it. Like, yeah, I would say, shit, we're into summer already. We should have been on the boulevard over there 5, 10 times already this year, and it's been nothing. Just that 1 or 2 times.
And the last I've seen too, with Whittier, they're not giving any leeway on Whittier.
So it sounds to me like they're getting the same or giving the same treatment there as they're doing in Van Nuys. No passes, and they don't want it right there.
And I don't know. I mean, you think that the city would say, okay, well, we'll give you like once a month or something.
Once a month, man, that's right, and that's not asking a lot, but like, shoot it, right? We'll take it.
Exactly.
Once a month, no drama. Let me come out and do our thing, and it's not like, man, we're in old cars on 13s. We drive, most of us, man, we're going slow, man. We're not out there tearing stuff up.
It's yeah, like I said, it's different, and I don't think they've been willing to let that part go about what you know they figure if it'll draw a certain crowd, even if it's not directly the car owners and the people that are into the clubs. They always say, and this is what they said in the 80s and everything else like that, that it draws the trouble, it brings the trouble out. And dude, nowadays, honestly, I mean, if you look at all the people that are all decked out, creased down, all the youngsters, dude, they're more actually. It seems like it. And I talk about like this with sugar. Well, you look at Sugar Bear and all the events these guys are doing with the oldies. These guys are styling and they're dancing and they're having a good time more than anything. And then I never saw that before in my life.
Right? Yeah, same here. Same here. Yeah, with the people dancing and you get their groove on. That's dope. That's dope. Yeah, I've never seen it before either. That's a whole thing now.
They haven't had any events on what is it? Is it what is the one street they do? Um, what street is it? It's the one was like by the industrial area. They do,
Broadway?
no, 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 no. It's like oh my goodness, what street is it? There's a so it's like all industrial, and then you go in, and then people park, and then they have like an open side. Like a lot of times they have the DJ and they're dancing. Is it 10th Street or something like that?
Oh, maybe was that the old was it 15th Street
Yeah,
Bridge?
15th Street. No, well, no, not the bridge, but
Oh yeah, 15th Street.
is it 15th Street?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
they haven't done anything over there.
You know what? Not that I've seen on Instagram. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. Not that
Yeah.
I've seen though.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like all those like get-togethers and those cruises and everything, I haven't seen nothing. So
Yeah,
there's
and
there's stuff here and there, but not the normal stuff that I've seen like every year.
I know I know my boy Street Entertainment
Mhm.
got some Modelo Mondays going on. It looks like he gets it cracking every Monday in his area. And he's out in the IE. It's so far from me because I'm on the other side. I'm out of LA County now, so
Okay, okay.
I'm just into Ventura County. So man, like making Riverside and back, fuck, that's that's a whole fucking journey. So I haven't made it to one yet, and it's on a Monday, right? But
Yeah.
I know he's got that cracking. Seems like religiously every week. And you
Oh,
got
yeah.
my boy Rock with the Breakfast Club, and I forgive me, man, because it's like it's maybe the first or last Saturday of every month they get together, and that thing is again, they're doing that religiously. That's just a normal program. Uh, there was a group that was called Van Nuys Cruise Nights who did the third Wednesdays of every month, and I
Yeah.
don't know if they're still doing that or not, because it seems like all the last cruises that we were doing there were just thrown by clubs and stuff.
Yeah. And then there was the No Man's Land, Santa Ana.
Oh yeah, my boy Tito, man. Yeah, Tito always keeps it cracking out there with that No Man's Land. That's huge. I've been to a couple. Again, that for me, it is very far. I'm
Yeah.
talking like 3 hour each way,
Yeah.
which I mean, it's just not something I can do regularly. But I've taken my car out there before, and I've just went out in the daily and took the camera and hung out.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tito fucking with the No Man's Land always cracking out there.
So when you pick, what do you prefer? What do you think your best footage, or you have the nicest time getting footage? What do you think? What events are that for you? Is it the car shows or the cruises?
100% the cruises. 100%. So I would say I'm a events in order of what I like. Number 1, cruises. Number 2, picnics. And then number 3, the car shows.
Mm-hmm.
1, like as you see, I've been smoking our whole interview or our whole podcast. I get my smoke on. You can't do that in the shows like that.
Yeah.
And besides that, I like to see the cars moving, right? Like, I love those show cars. That's fantastic. But I'd rather see a primered Cutlass coming down the street, hitting the switches, than seeing your car on jack stands with 200,000 into it. And I'm sorry, that's just how I feel. I'd rather see that primer Cuddy coming down the street tipping.
Yeah.
So
Just working and hitting, and that's the thing. It's action. Action to me. My best videos, honestly, are the cruise nights and everything else like that.
Yeah,
And,
for sure.
and I'm out there, and I'm a little aggressive because I'll walk right between two hoppers. I gives a shit, and they're gas hopping. I have a video from San Jose last year, or was it last year or the year before? I'm sure. But these guys came out of Visalia, and they were gas hopping. That's what they were doing. They were rolling next to each other, and they were hopping at the same time. They were from the same club, and I walked right up through the middle. I don't give a fuck.
Fuck yeah.
I'm gonna get that. But
that's the money shot right there, right? Is that one of your favorite shots you got? Right?
Yeah, I think that's one of my favorites, and I think that's the whole thing. Like, no, don't get me wrong. I mean, if they're like all over the place, I'm not doing that. I know what I'm doing. I'm like, to a point, I'm like, I just want to be out there in the midst of everything. But man, there's nothing like cruising, because you're not going to get those type of opportunities at just any event. Even a regular hop is hard to get everything when you got everybody in the hot pit.
Yep. And now everybody's a photographer now too. Fucking so sometimes I'm like, I'm not even gonna battle my way through. I don't care, media pass or not. Like, I'm just not gonna push my way past 30 cell phones.
Yeah.
To get up there with this 4K camera. I'm just not gonna do it.
Yeah, exactly. The I got a gimbal for my phone, one of those phone gimbals. I got it because when I was doing like little lives, and I always try to do a live early to kind of promote that it's there and kind of get people like into it, what's happening. And I did it because I was like, I'm gonna go live and I get smoother footage, and I'm not like bouncing around everywhere. And even now, I'm like, like a lot of times I'm like, oh, my phone gimbal, I'm just gonna go live. I'm like with my phone. But I see so much now content creators, they're doing where they're streaming it straight to YouTube. There's a couple guys that they'll walk the whole show for 2 hours, and they have a 2-hour long video, and then they're just walking around, no edits, no nothing.
Mhm.
They're just going for 2 hours on their phone, and you know, by the time they're done, their videos already, you know, up to YouTube and stuff like that.
I've seen some of that. I've seen some of that, and that's dope. For me, it's a little hard to watch just because, you know, it's so long, like you said.
Yeah.
But I'm sure some people probably make a coffee and sit down and watch that whole 2 hours. And I think what I do appreciate that about that is probably you'll see every single car. So if your car's there, right?
Yeah.
I know, like if my car's there, I know you got my car, so I'm gonna watch that whole 2 hours. You
Until I
know what I
find
mean?
it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so yeah, that's I've been seeing it, but I don't know. I can't sit down and watch all that.
Yeah, it's a lot. The unless it's something I missed out and I didn't make it, and then I'm like I want to see how it went. Like, so I want to see like, oh, you know, I didn't get to go to that event. So, but that's like rare. It's like, but so what I've gotten from most people that are familiar with the YouTube, they play the videos on the TVs in their shops,
Hmm.
bars, and restaurants.
Hmm.
So when people say, "Well, you need to put music," or the muted stuff, they complain. I'm like, you know what? I think I found that the most people that play through a lot of the lowrider videos are these bars or restaurants that cater to the community,
Hmm.
and they're not playing the sound. They're only playing
Yep.
the videos, and then they have music or a
Music.
DJ.
Yep.
And so it's irrelevant because they're using it as a just background entertainment, a
Hmm.
visual. And so I've gotten people like, Barrio Dog in San Diego and also now in San Antonio, that we just seen your videos the other night, whatever. And the first time I ever saw that, my cousin actually had went down there and he was out there and he sent me a picture, like a video, and he said,
That's
"Look,
sick.
your videos out here." But they play all of our videos like that. So and then
That's sick. Yeah.
other people that have shops, hydraulic shops, anything like
Hmm.
that, they're throwing it on YouTube and they're putting it on in their waiting room. So you're so a lot of our videos are being played like that, and so that's why I really don't worry about the audio,
Hmm.
and if I'm really lucky, if I'm really lucky and they have a live band, I'll record some music from them and then I play it over.
That's
And then I
dope.
get yeah, so if once in a while, if I know there's gonna be a certain live band, I'll bring like an audio just to record the audio,
Mhm.
and I'll just take that and I'll slap it over the video.
Yeah, for a minute I was like reaching out to some of the people I know who do music and or when I run into people and just saying like, hey, check it out. You know,
Mhm.
I have this YouTube channel. If you have any music that vibes with some lowrider type stuff, if it's dope, I'll put it on there. I can't give you anything,
Mm,
but you know, if you do a bunch of views, your music gets heard, right? So I've
yeah,
had a handful of people give me some music, and some of it I've been able to use. Shout out to my boy Clientele, who makes some dope like West Coast music. That was pretty underground, but he got a bunch of dope music, and I've used a bunch of
nice.
his music over the years. Uh, yeah.
I think that's because I was gonna say this earlier. The one thing about what I've seen is now some of the artists they're willing to share content. So I don't know if you've ever seen when they flag certain songs, they'll say can't be monetized, and then another one will say content sharing or revenue sharing. So it'll have like a split, it'll have like a fork,
I haven't
and
seen that yet.
so when certain songs will come up and they'll have a green, but it's like a split arrow, like a
Okay.
fork. And what that means is that they'll split the earnings with you.
Okay.
And I'm like, damn, why don't more artists, if more artists did that instead of just banning it
Hmm.
and their copyright, if they did that, you'd have more people using your music and it would get out to more people and everybody gets money.
You would think, right? You would think
Yeah.
so. Like I would, right? That's free promotion. All
Mhm.
right, now that we're talking free promotion, man. How about these $2, $3, $400 media passes these guys want to sell? You want for us to do free promotion for their events? Like, what is going on, bro? I can't do it. Yeah. Bro, I can't.
I won't spend the money. Okay. So I go back to the first time I ever did the Majestics New Year's, and they were gonna have the hop, and it was 2016, I believe. It was the first time. I was still like, I'm still new, I'm nobody special. And I'm like, how do I get a pass to get in a hot pit? And they're like, 250. And I'm like, 250 to get, and then they're like, well, you're gonna make money off it, right? And I'm like, well, that's the intent, but okay, I'll pass. Like, no worries. And so I did everything. I didn't even try to get in the hop pit, whatever. They had a fence up. I don't even think I recorded the hop that year. I was still new to everything, with on being on my own. And so I was there, and I was doing, I did everything else. But then I started talking to people, and all I say, and my suggestion to everybody that's asking about that, if you network and just talk with the promoters directly, there's always gonna be like, they have like one guy that's in between, right? There's the guy that's trying to charge everybody for everything, right? That's their one guy, that number on the flyer. But the actual guy sometimes is the person you got to talk to. And I understand that they're trying to, what they're doing is they're trying to limit the amount of people in the hop, but it's bullshit, because 20 people will come in with a hopper and it's all the car club. And don't get me wrong, it's all love, but nobody knows how to regulate their own crowd. So then you have 20 extra people in the hop pit, and you pay, even if you were to pay, or you did all the work to network to get that press pass, you have the kids, you have the switchman, you have you have the cheerleader, you have the ground guy, you have the other guy that wants to stand there and watch, and everything, and they stand in front of everybody, and they're all there for that hopper. And you know what? That's great, because you have all that support, but at the same time, they don't leave the pit when the car does. So if you really get that, I paid attention to that. All those people will come in, and then they stay there.
Yeah, I think that's what probably burnt me out on the last couple media passes that I paid for, was because I did pay, and now I'm standing in here, and I still gotta like try to wrestle my way through 30 or 40 other people. And then again, now we're back to like where I'm like, okay, this feels too much like work. So I don't even get mad. I'm not tripping. I'm not tripping at all, because I'm gonna see it. I'll remember.
It's an investment.
I mean,
ultimately, it's an investment. If you're really pushing to get in the door, sometimes the 250 gets you in the door. That the content that you create, and what, let's just say, the promoter sees, or what it gets out of it by the free promotion, technically, then the goal is that you're invited back, or they look at you and go, oh, you're not going to pay this time. Now, then again, there's the other thing. Well, if he paid last time, he could pay again. You know what I mean? So you got it's got to be the right promoter, the right situation. And to me, sometimes the hops don't necessarily give me the best views. It's like, yeah, the hop, I'm always want to do the hop, and I want to make a separate video for the hop, but I don't find it going really way out there. Now, hopping in the street, totally different type of audience and views on the YouTube.
I agree. Yeah. For the super shows, I don't feel like, so I think one year I did, and keep it 100 with you, I've probably seen you do it, and was like, you know what? Let me try that and see how it works. But I don't feel like I got any response from the just hop footage. So now I treat the hop at a super show. I treat the hop footage kind of like the models.
Yeah.
Like right in the beginning of the video, I might show you a couple cars, some hopping, and a model, and then we're going to go into cars. And then throughout the video, give you a couple more hops, but just kind of sprinkle it in there, because, and it's a much different audience. Like you said, I feel like much different audience, the people who are sitting there watching the super show videos compared to the dude who's sitting there watching that cruise night video.
Yep.
So some of the same people, but even if it's the same person, you're in a different mood, right? When you're watching the fucking Super Show video, you probably are on the TV just kicking it.
Yep.
But that cruise video, like I'd be hyped up watching the cruise night videos.
Like I can almost think like the cruise night videos is gonna be like people barbecuing at the pad and we'll throw on the video and we'll check this
Right.
out. And then the car show, like the Super Show videos, is gonna be someone like, oh, we're gonna sit down and have dinner or I'm gonna lay in bed and have my coffee and watch this show.
Yeah, different vibe. Yep.
Yeah, different vibe. And it is chill. Don't get me wrong, but as a creator, we also be mindful of that's kind of how our audience runs, you know. And the hop videos, if you do the hop video right, it's not a long video. Even if it's a big hop, it's just you get not every car works forever. I mean, you go 2 taps of back bumper, okay, next car. You know, it takes longer for them to switch the cars out than it does for them to hop it.
Yep.
And you're in that pit for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and your video is 20 minutes long.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You know, and it's all bam, 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 and then it's whatever. I mean, if it's one of those things where it's mainly a part of the culture, but you have a whole different group of people that are paying attention to that. They're the people that ain't paying attention to the show cars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. You got to give a little bit for everything and everybody, but at the same time, you be realistic of what's coming out of it. And so when people, you know, they want to charge all this money for these press passes, the thing is these are still people that think that because you have a YouTube channel, you're making millions of dollars. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wish.
Yeah, I was told one time, I was like, you're making like $20,000-$40,000. I'm like, no, the fuck I ain't. If I was, you know it.
Yeah, and if that was the case all day, yeah, and look, if I knew I was going to make $1,000 off the video, I'll give you 250. I mean, I wouldn't want 500 is a little rough, but 250, I could see you with it. Okay. But at the same time, I also, because I was a small business owner for over 10 years.
Yeah.
Had anybody came to me and said, hey, can I please promote your business for free? I would have said, of course, yes, thank you. Can I give you some product or so, whatever? Can I promote your business for free? I'm going to drive to where it is. I'm going to spend 4 hours recording and 4 hours editing and uploading. I'm going to put 10 to 12 hours into promoting your business for free.
Yeah.
But like, no, I don't want to give you $250 for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's how free is it? You know what I mean? Like, you think about it. I mean, I've seen you in Arizona. You're doing the drive. You're out. You know, that's gas, that's hotel, that's everything else. Regardless,
free to the show, not free to us. Right? It cost us. Right? Yeah. An Arizona weekend is, you know, even with my extracurricular activities aside, it still ain't cheap.
No, I think so. The first time I did the full whole weekend with booking 2 models, flying out there, Ubers, food and everything else, I spent over $2,000.
Easy. Yeah.
So then I realized, well, I spent over $200 on just driving around Uber because I didn't rent a car. And I'm like, okay. So then the next year, I got it down. I was able to get it down with my cost altogether with flying in one of my friends to help me, myself, renting a car, hotel, and food. I got it down to about 1,000. But I had to do everything way in advance to get the prices cheap as hell.
Yeah, for sure. Because I don't know who's closer, me or you, but probably about the same distance, right?
An hour and 20-minute flight.
Oh yeah, see, yeah, I don't fly.
Yeah,
I don't fly. I've been on a bunch of flights, but the older I get, it's so uncomfortable for me. So I just do the drive.
Yeah,
and for me, it's like a 6.5 hour drive out there. But I will say this though, while we're talking about it though, shout out to the people who do the Arizona show, because I don't want to say something incorrect, but I feel like they're the only big super show or promoter to like hit me up and try to compensate me a little bit for going out there and doing my thing. So shout out to them for sure. I've been at I've been at the gate at the LA Convention Center, and they don't want to let me bring my camera in.
Oh no.
But on the paper flyer, there's a screenshot from last year's video. And I'm telling them at the gate, I'm like, I'm bringing the camera in. Look at, you see the little logo right there on the flyer? I'm like, that's me. That, look at, my camera has the logo on it. They're like, well, we don't know that's you. Can you step to the side? And we're going to bring a supervisor. I said, no, you got other lines, but I'm going to stay right here until the supervisor comes. Because I know if I step to the side, supervisors coming when they feel like it.
Yeah,
so this line is closed temporarily. And they did eventually let me go in with the camera, but I'm like, dude, you got a screenshot of my freaking video on the flyer.
Yeah.
But I can't bring my camera in. That was funny.
Yeah, that's exactly that. Because they forget. They forget the audience. They forget that. There's where things where I get promoters and they advertise through me and stuff like that. And I've told people, it's, to me, if that helps me do what I do, that's what I'm doing. Like, eventually would I love to have my own marketing company and stuff like that that caters to this, genre. That's kind of where I'm building enough. When I'm done walking around with that camera, I still want to be involved somehow. And I think that's where my end goal is with all this content that I'm collecting over all these years.
Yeah, no, I mean, I see
and
you
I don't
doing
think
your
that
thing,
they realize that that's a asset to them. But it's an asset to all the promoters, and I think they start realizing that, but they forget as well that you have people that are more local and everything else like that, and people that do just as hard of a work to put their content out, and we're the ones paying for it on our own end.
Yeah, and marketing is everything, man. To any business owner watching this, man, do some promotions with some of us, man. The homie right here already offers the service. Like, the reason you'll have businesses that do the same thing on two different ends of one street, and one of them's successful, the other one's not, most of the time is marketing, man. Spend a little money on your businesses.
Yeah. Exactly. But like I said, there's still people that think they're divas and they don't need it. But
Yeah, it is what it is. And it ain't what it ain't.
that's right.
So,
but yeah, like I said, I'm still gonna do it regardless. See, that's the whole thing. Whether I'm my biggest, like, what do you say? I was thinking about this earlier. I'm my biggest sponsor. I'm trying not to
for
be,
sure.
but I still am.
Hey, but you know what? You know what? Take your flowers now, bro, because that shows like dedication, right? Like, I see you everywhere, bro. And I know when I was doing, like, I would do, my big three was like LA, Vegas, Arizona, right? Anything outside of that for me is like a far stretch. I see you like going anywhere, bro, and always on the move. And just for you're definitely on the move 2-3 times as much as me, bro. So my hat's off to you, dog, because that's a real lot of hustle, bro. That's a lot of work to always be on the move like that. Like, I know just from even at my height of doing as many shows as I could do in a year, I would still be at home. I see you at every show. I see you at every show I'm at, and then I'll be at home and I see you at the shows that I wasn't at too. I'm like, damn, this fool goes and like puts in the work, dog.
I have friends that want to come with me and they can't hack it because I'm like, I'm gonna do the car show, we're gonna go to the cruise, and then tomorrow we're gonna go do the picnic. And they're like, and I'm like, it is what it is. Like, I'm tired too, but I'm gonna do this because I need to do it. Like, that's, to me, I feel that but that's my I guess sometimes that's my exercise nowadays. But yeah.
Yeah, same here. Same shit. My hobbies, I gotta have, the car shows, all the walking around, and then my other hobbies, that is that's my exercise now.
So yeah, I'm trying to convince my son a little bit more and to get into stuff. He doesn't like the walking around part, and I'm just like, but
Does he mess
you
with
know,
the cameras?
he has. I mean, he goes through his little phases. Maybe the first couple shows or something, he'll be all into it, and then after that, he's like, "Oh, we're going to be in the outdoor. Oh, we got to walk around. Oh, it's hot." So he's like, "Nah." But he's getting a little older, and I told him, "You're going to start being like more of my helper. So you're going to be right by my side. You're going to be sitting in the chair on your phone. I didn't bring you with me to do that." But so he's understanding now, and I also don't make him do everything. Like there's times I'm like, I got 2 shows this weekend. I'll be running around. Do you want to come with me this weekend? And he's like, I'm gonna sit this one out, Dad. I'm like, all right, no problem. Because I tell him straight up, I'd rather you tell me no, so I don't pick you up from your mom's, than you say yes because you want to go with me,
Mhm.
and then you're pouting or just like not into it the whole weekend. I don't want to see that. So he gets the option of whether he wants to be with me or not, and I don't make him do anything. I'm just like, But the Bakersfield, he was with me, and I was actually having fun because I was teaching him about the cars.
Okay, that's what's
So
up.
so he was kind of into it, and I told him, "Oh, I'm thinking about getting an El Camino next year," and he's like, "What?" And he's like, "Okay, well, when I turn 18, I get the car," and I'm like, so in my head, I'm going, yes.
Yeah, my daughter's into it still. My
Mhm.
son used to be with me everywhere. My son was with me everywhere. I wouldn't tell him the night before. I just wake him up in the morning, get ready, car show. Like, let's go. But around like 16, 17, wake him up, it's a car show. That fool, the first time he hit me with it, he was like, "Oh, Dad, I think I'm gonna stay home today. A couple of my boys are meeting up." I was all like, I backed out of his room, but heard him. Fuck that dude, man. Fuck that dude, bro. Right? I was all mad. Then he
Yeah.
hit me with it again and shit. And he just kind of like fell out of it. That fool was doing his own thing, but my daughter's still into it and shit. So
Yeah, I know that's coming eventually. I'm like, dude, right now, until you're gonna start having your own friends doing your own thing, and that time comes and it's okay. But for right now, you gotta roll with me, and we're gonna do whatever we're gonna do. We gotta go out there and be out there. But eventually you're gonna be like, Dad, I'm gonna go with my friends, and I'm gonna buy a Harley, and I'm gonna be like, I said, when you tell me you ain't coming around no more because you with your friends, I'm gonna buy me a motorcycle and go travel. So yeah, they're gonna outgrow us. And I got kids that are his age, and they come up to me and, I watch your YouTube and this, that, and he's just standing there looking at me, looking at them, and he's just like, what's the big deal?
yeah. No, that's always a trip for me too. And yeah, some of my buddies' kids are diehard with it. Now they're young men that are still doing this and like never
Yeah,
stop. And I watch these kids from same thing as old as my son, 8, 9 years old.
yeah.
Now they're in their 20s and have their own cars and shit. And I'm like, where did I go wrong, dog? No,
Yeah.
I'm just like, I just no. Hey, shout out to my son. I love my son to death, man.
It's like anything else. We're right there in front of him, and it's just like, oh, that's just normal.
Yeah,
That's the
to
thing,
him it was. Yeah, to him it was so normal. He
Yeah,
does consider this car his.
yeah.
The car's registration is due on his birthday every year.
Oh
This is my
wow.
first car with hydraulics, and my son, that's my firstborn child. So he's the one who put all this math together. And he's like, "That that's my car right there." I'm like, "Yeah, I got you."
Yeah.
But
Yes. They don't want to do the running around, but I think that the culture's there. Like I said, when I said I think I'm gonna get me an El Camino so we can have something to cruise around in and everything. He was all excited, and I was like, yes, like okay, because he's always showed interest in, like, he likes Lexuses and Corvettes and stuff like that.
okay. So he likes cars.
Yeah, he likes cars. It was just like he liked the new stuff, and then but when I showed him, because at that show just happened to be like a ton of El Caminos, and I was just talking to another friend about that because somebody was asking me. And he's like, "Well, you don't think I was like, "I think I'm gonna get an Elko next year. I just want something to ride in." And um, so anyhow, that's the goal. But I was just like, and then I'm at the show and I see all these El Caminos everywhere, and I'm like, "This is the kind of car I think I'm gonna get next year." I was telling my son, he's like, "Really?" He's like, "We're gonna be a part of it." I'm like, "What do you mean we are a part of it?" I'm like all offended, and he's like, "Well, no, I mean we're gonna actually have a car. We're gonna be in Lowrider," and I'm like, "Yeah, I want to do that." And he's just like, "Okay." And then he just like it took him like 5 minutes, and then he goes, when I turn 18, I get the car. I'm calling dibs right now. You can get another one. He says you could get another one.
Fuck yeah, good for him, dog.
So I'm like, all right. So, but with that being said, I want to appreciate your time. You coming on here. I really appreciate it. And man, we gotta come together and do some more stuff.
For sure.
I got a couple ideas, not just for a podcast, but some, live stuff or whatever. But I'm just trying to bring a lot of the creators, together and know like we're all in it for the same, goal is representing this lowrider lifestyle.
Hey, I seen that, and then I think the post that I commented on where I don't know if it was you saying it or the dude you were talking to, but one of you guys was saying like, I don't know how some of these guys call themselves like not getting along with each other, right? And I'm like, dog, that's so right there. To like you said, like, bro, like even though let's say we do have, what would you say, like a friendly rivalry, right? On the YouTube numbers, just because our channels keep doing this, right? But I mean, it's all ever since the first time I seen you, we always chopped it up. It's always been love. Every time I seen you after that, it's been love, and it's all that's just how it's gonna be, dog. So I fuck with you, bro, and I thank you for having me on your platform. And yeah, man, keep doing what you're doing. Anything I can be a part of, I'm down. And shout out to all the lowriders out there, everybody, man, all the models, all the promoters, all the photographers, everybody. No matter what, whether you like me or not, whether I like you or not, shout out to you.
Yeah. One way or the other, you're watching our videos.
Yeah. Shout out to you, man. Yeah, it ain't easy.
Yeah. All right, my brother. Well, thank you again.
All right, man.
Peace out.
Pinches Lowriders.